All right, welcome back, you guys. I'm excited, man. It's been a minute. I had these in the chamber for a while. I've just been so busy with life. I've been on vacation, but this is a dope transformation, dope tutorial. I promise it's gonna come out crazy. This is my boy Ronald. He's been rocking a fro for some months. He comes every Friday, but now it's time to go back to his hot taper, ready to get his waves back. So what's gonna be dope about this transformation, this tutorial, is that I'm going to show you guys how to go straight from fro to look like he's never had a fro, how to lay the hair down. So let's get to it. He's getting a 2 on top with a high ball taper. So what I usually do, I have a detachable clipper, my Andy ZR, but I won't start with those because his hair has been standing up and you see he has kind of gapped. He has thick hair, a great texture, but seeing it is so thick that it looks spaced because he's had a fro for so long. So what I'll do is to watch any cowlicks or to get that hair cut down to a nice even length without gapping it, I'll put a 2 on my magic clip. That's what I have right now, just to cut it down primarily. Then I'll come back with the 2 with a ceramic blade on my Andy's Supra ZR. All right, but yeah, I'm just watching for any spaces, any gaps. I open the lever, close the lever. So you have to understand when you're dealing with the hair, right? Some areas are denser than others. When I say dense, dense is how much hair per cubic inch, right? Or how much hair per section. Some hair, it'll have the same thickness per hair follicle or hair shaft, which is the individual hair unit itself. But the density is how many of those hair shafts are in one specific area. So when I say density, that's how thick or how many in one area versus the other. See right there, he has a cowlick in the front. I kind of got to watch that. But again, I'm just cutting it down with the 2 open. Also, it looks, watch this, check this out. It looks thin right there, right around the swirl. Watch, see, I'm gonna point some areas out. You have to figure out which way the hair grows. Be very patient because you want to cut the hair the way it grows. Mind you, his hair, see, I'm finding the swirl. His hair has been standing up for so long, I have to watch the natural growth pattern. Because although that hair's been standing, when you cut it down, it's going to revert back. It's going to want to revert back to its natural growth pattern. So if you cut anything opposite than that, you'll gap the hair. Now, boom, right here, I have hot lather. Hot lather is hot shaving cream. It's a machine you use called latherizer. You put shaving cream in the liquid form, mix with water, let it sit, it gets hot. Now you have hot lather. Now what I'm doing is I'm coaxing the hair down. I'm laying his hair, I'm massaging his hair down in the growth pattern. As you see, I'm hitting all the sides. I'll do that for about a good 2-3 minutes, lay the hair down, then I come back with the warm rag, let it sit for 15 to 30 seconds, and boom, his hair will lay down really smooth, right? Then I'll come back, boom, with the 2 right there on the ceramic. Look at how different his hair looks. It doesn't even look like he even had long hair. You see what I'm saying? And then I use the comb to cut, but at this point, you can have a client bring in their personal brush. You can brush it to massage the hair, kind of train the hair. But it's simple as that, right? Technique. I use that technique for even clients who haven't had a haircut, who gets cut weekly. It's about manipulation, right? To master the craft, it's not about how good you can fade. How well do you know your products? How well do you know what does what? Smooth, right? So remember those techniques and tools. So another thing, right now what I'm just doing is I'm making the primary line. If you watch any other tutorials, you watch me say that, but I'm about to hit some other key points. I'm about to break down why the hot water method or the hot lather works. What happens is, right, so the hair shaft is made up of 3 layers, the medulla, the cortex, and the cuticle. Cuticle is the outer layer of the hair. When you use any hot water, hot rag, hot anything, you open up that outer layer so it lets the other product get inside the inner layers. Then that lays the hair down and lets you manipulate the hair. That's why you use hot rags or hot lather on the edge of it, because you want to lay the hair down. Learn your products and learn how to manipulate the hair and you will master the craft. Okay, what I just did was I just put a primary line in with my Andy's Masters open, then I shift the lever to halfway. Now I'm taking the primary line out with my Walls Magic Clip. Look at my hand placement on the clippers, right? Very light. I'm very gentle. Reverse Tiger Claw method right there. I kind of go back and forth between those, but it's all about mastering the simple techniques. Like, you don't have to do anything crazy. If you go back and watch 10 to 15 of my videos, I'm doing the same thing in each one. I'll probably break stuff down a little differently, but when you master a system, you will master the craft. I'm using my left hand, my thumb, to stretch the skin. Why? Because I'm not doing a very large taper in length, so I have to stretch the skin. Look at my left hand again. Now I'm stretching from the top. I need to create a bigger workspace, right, to get the primary line in. Then I'm going to come with my, I believe, what is this? Let's see, 2-guard, right? 2-guard, just debulking a little bit, taking away that thickness and density, using my comb instead of the brush because the comb helps keep the hair spaced. I'm talking a lot because I'm teaching a lot, all right? Just listen to what I'm telling you, and I promise you, you will win. So after the 2, you come with the 1.5. So I go 2, 1.5, 1. This taper finna be so sick, I swear to God. I swear, and I don't even want to swear to God, but I promise you. See, boom, right there. 2 again, because I see denser spots, and I want them to match. No head has the perfect density all the way around. So that's why you debulk certain areas outside of your taper zones. Now I have my white guard, which is my 1.5. Then I'll come with the 1, then the master's open. You guys watch me. I'll be back soon. Stay tuned. Game Changer Conversations and Cuts. Next episode dropping very soon. Also, I got an interview dropping where somebody interviewed me. You guys watch. I'll be back. All right, so you're gonna notice that this tutorial is 22 minutes long. I left a lot of my fade and work in, so you can study it. It's very important that you study. Now watch, right? Another thing I want to point out, I watch barbers when they taper and fade. Another reason why I stretch the skin is so that the skin doesn't move with the clipper. You have to have a very smooth stroke to make the clipper work for you. Like, it might not look like I'm hitting much now, but I'm taking off a little at a time, but I'm in control. If the scalp was moving as the clipper was moving, I can't fully control the motion of how much is taken off. I have to be in control to get the look that I want, right? It's a very, very manual approach. Control your stroke, control your wrist motion, boom, 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 repetitive wrist motion, and stretch that skin. I hear people say, well, I've heard it's unprofessional to grab the client's head. Listen, man, listen. I'm not beating people up. I'm working. This is my canvas. When you come sit in my chair, you're my canvas. So I have to manipulate certain areas to get the desired look. All right? So you guys watch. I'll be back. But yeah, the reason why this is 22 minutes is because I really want you guys to watch and study. Take your time. Watch me work the comb. Watch how many strokes I take before I comb. Look at my little nuances. Watch my hands in the clippers. Look how light I'm not. Look how light I'm gripping the clippers, not how rough I'm holding the clippers. Also, stay tuned. I got an interview dropping. Pub. Alrighty. So same process with the back. We start at the nape of the neck. So when we do the back taper, we start very low at the primary line, because the higher you start with the first line, the higher you got to go up with the taper. I usually like to keep the taper low, below the occipital bone, right? Like that's usually a must, but some people you'll be surprised. You don't want to have to debulk too high. You just start really low with the primary line, so the secondary line doesn't have to be that high, and you give yourself more room to work. Another thing about tapering or fading or barbering in general, everything is about spacing. If you outspace yourself, or sometimes a lot of issues I see with fades, is not that the barber is bad or they made a mistake. They just didn't do proper spacing or alignment with the fade. You have to know the head. Okay, the temple protrudes here. You have to know the front. Like you have to know how the head is shaped. So good consultation, study the client head. And you know, one of the best times to study the client head is when you combing through the hair. Sometimes if you don't want to stand there and look crazy, or have the barber or the client think you don't know what you're doing, just comb through his hair and just study. Okay, his hair, okay, sticks out here, moves here, okay, boom. Study that. Primary line, secondary line. You guys watch. It's the same process as the sides. It's not much to say back here in the back. I don't believe if I see anything I need to point out, I'll be back. But same template, primary, secondary line, fade the primary line in, debulk, then blend the two sections together. See you guys soon. Oh yeah, remember, watch for density and debulk. Okay, so when it comes to doing the back taper, you just want to make sure you want to keep it nice and natural. I know you want it to be sharp, but you can make it sharp and keep it natural. You don't. Sometimes pushing it in might call your name, right? But just pull the skin away. Like even with the ear, you stretch the skin or the ear away. Use the corner of the clipper. That's the best advice I can give you. Use the corner, follow the natural line, and just sculpt around the ear and the edge up. You don't always need the full clipper. Most likely 70% of the time, you won't even use the full blade on the clipper at one time. All right, so you edge it, and then after you get through, so once I get through the whole edge up, there's something about edging up, it'll make you find certain spots for the fade that you need to fix. Right now, I'm just focusing on getting the edge around nice and natural. Do the same thing on the opposite side. I use the comb, I comb the hair out. That's another big tip. You have to see which way that hair grows. Sometimes the hair grows the reverse way, opposite way. Figure out which way the hair grows, comb it that way so that when the client brushes and washes their hair, it lays in a natural pattern with a great edge up. All right, so now it's time for the good stuff. Even on the edge up, I'll debulk. I'll show you what I mean. All right, so I put the shaving gel. But look at this. Use the comb. Just stand out his edge up. His hair on his edge up grows so thick, it'll look like a thick patch. So what I do is I just stand it out some to make it even with the rest of the hair. Remember, he had a fro, so some of the hair when I cut it down, it didn't cut down evenly. I debulk with my razor and comb. I stretch the skin from both ways to keep it nice and even. And I go with this natural edge up. Then I'll come back with my Fabulous FX edger and just touch it up to get those hairs to hang over. It might not be as easy as it looks, but I promise with repetition it becomes easier. And then I zoom in. But I'm just hitting the edges of those hairs. You don't have to push it back to make it nice and neat. Just follow the line. When you master your tools, you'll master the cut. You have to know, okay, this is how much pressure I need to apply. Stretch the skin. This is how. Don't be afraid to use that shaving gel. I put a lot on there. If it's too much, you can wipe the excess off after, right? Stand in the front. I get a good look to make the edge up as symmetrical as possible. Not everybody's edge up grows even. I know Ronald's edge up is a little off on both sides, but I kind of might push certain areas in certain spots to make it even. But for the most part, nice, natural, smooth. You guys watch. I'm also at the end about to show you a cleanup. And I'm about to show you me cleaning those little ends off. And I promise it's considered before and after. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I might add a clip from my interview that I just did in the video. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned. More great content coming soon. I might drop another video at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. Remember, like, subscribe. If you learned something, comment in the comment section. Let me know what you got from this video. Thank you. Take care. Oh, but wait till you see the before and after. Beautiful.